I got to know how you feel like this shit is okay. I really gotta know. I really gotta know. You 19 years old. You grown.
I don't know how this video or what turn this video is going to take into, or like if I'm going to even be able to post it. But what I do know is if this is your son's room, please explain to me why there's a lighter on the floor. 14-year-olds shouldn't be smoking, but hey, I know that's just a minor detail in the video that probably doesn't matter. It's probably irrelevant, you know me just pointing out they're relevant. But before I even get into how relevant this title really is to the video, if you saw the title, you know what this video is about to be. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, man. We hit 1,000 subs on our last video, and I just want to say I am extremely grateful for that, man. We have 1,000 people that decided to become every single girl or guy's fantasy. We got 1,000 of y'all, man. I appreciate it. So let me hit 10,000. Like the video, subscribe to the video, comment down below your take on all this. We're going to just jump straight back into this. I'm really interested. You see what the title is. You see what the thumbnail is. You know what we're about to get into in this video. So let's get this shit going, man.
So hanging out with 50 fucking kids, let alone coming in somebody's house.
He could have company.
He could if he spoke to me, but not no grown ass fucking woman. You're grown.
Right.
You're not 14.
Right.
But as a grown ass woman, you should have knew that shit sound like some shit, right? Even if he did tell you he could have company, you grown, so you should know better than to come up in somebody's fucking house. And then on top of that, instead of getting the fuck up out of here, it's 11 o'clock and you still here. Like this nigga pay bills. Hurry up. For real. Because I'm trying to be patient and I'm trying to be calm. But on my mama, you grown. We could be like on some real.
Why exactly are you trying to be patient and calm with basically a 20-year-old caught in bed with a 14-year-old? Why are you trying to be calm? I can't help but to think that if the roles was reversed, a girl's daddy walked in on his daughter, meaning a 13-year-old, with a 20-year-old or 14-year-old with a 20-year-old man, that there would be no calmness. I think there's a pretty good chance that somebody's leaving in a body bag, and I'd probably put my money on the 19/20-year-old. Why exactly are you being calm? And two, I don't know if it's just me, but this situation already seems a little bit off. Maybe it's because I watched way too many fake pranksters in the last 48 hours, you know, trying to make more videos for y'all, because y'all got me to 1,000 subs. I tell y'all the world. Maybe I watched too many fake videos or fake pranks or something, but if a 19-year-old was in bed with your 14-year-old son, why is the camera not on her? Why can I not see the woman who decided to like get in contact with she hit up a 13-year-old for dick at 11 a.m. This is crazy. And I got another question. How did a 19-year-old girl get into your house at 11 a.m. without you knowing, bro? I'm calling a little fugazi on this, but hey, she might have some proof. It just kind of catches me off guard because if the roles was reversed, and if I was to not be attacking the girl who was in the bed with my 13-year-old or 14-year-old boy, trust and believe, I would be recording her and calling the police. I think there's a little bit of sexism in this, if that's even a word to come into play. Because like I said, if it was a man in bed with a 14-year-old girl, this video probably wouldn't even be on YouTube. You understand that? This video is monetized. This video wouldn't be monetized if it was a man.
Whatever. So, story time about how I discovered this 19-year-old woman in the bed with my 13, almost 14-year-old son. So, it's Saturday morning. I get up about 8:30. I'm cleaning up my house. I'm moving around. I'm doing what I always do. Got my music playing, whatever. Cleaning up. I check my son on the way, you know, down or whatever. Door is locked, which is typical. He typically sleeps with his door locked. It's not an issue for me because if I need to get in his room, I know how to get in his room. Door is locked. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go clean up. About 10 o'clock, I knock on the door. I'm like, you know, I'll knock on the door and I call for him and I keep going. He comes out of his room. I'm like, I need you to sit with your sister. I have to run up to the gas station. When I'm cleaning up my house, I like to burn incense. I didn't have any incense, and so I asked him to come sit with his sister so I could run to get incense or whatever. So he comes out, sits with her. I run up to the gas station. I'm gone like 10 minutes. Come back, let him go back to his room. I continue to do what I'm doing. No issue. I mean, you know, whatever. So about 11 o'clock, I go knock on the door because now I'm finished cleaning. I'm looking for my lighter and I can't find it. So I'm like, okay.
Okay, if you're trying to make me believe or you're trying to explain to us that in 10 minutes a 19-year-old crept into your house, I'm having a hard time believing that, you see. I feel like 10 minutes is too minuscule of a time. Now again, this may be me like, again, watching pranksters last 48 hours, so many fakes. Kind of hard to believe that some things is real. I don't think a 19-year-old at 10 o'clock in the morning got a 10-minute window to sneak into your house and have sex with your son. I don't think that the 10-minute minuscule span your son can hit up a 19-year-old who's so thirsty for that underage pee-pee where she would pop up at your house, get in the bed with your son, and have sex. I'm having a hard time believing that. A very, very hard time believing that.
My lighter was here when I went to bed. It's not here. So 2 and 2 together. So I go knock on the door. The door is locked. And I'm banging. And I'm like, what the fuck is taking you so long to open the door? Like, I opened the door. So he opens the door and he's standing. And I'm like, where's my lighter? He's like, I'm looking for it. I'm like, okay, well, you need to find it. But at the same time, I don't see this girl. Y'all. I don't see this girl. So I go back out. I'm waiting on him for incense. I didn't have any incense. 5 minutes later, he's still whatever. So I go back to the door. I'm like, bro, where's my lighter? And I look up and I see a bonnet and socks.
You know, again, I don't really like being the one to like invalidate stories, but we saw the lighter in the beginning of the video. Room, please explain to me why there's a lighter on the floor. 14-year-olds shouldn't be smoking. Like, we saw the lighter. You understand that? Like, we saw it. You stepped into his room and saw the girl with the bonnet, right? And I'm assuming that's when you took your phone out to record her. Okay, fine and dandy. We saw the lighter on the floor. It does not take your son 5 minutes to find a lighter that is on the floor to where you walk in and you see it instantly. Again, maybe I'm calling cap on this because most of the things that we commentate to or I talk about with y'all, and y'all talk about me in the comment section, you know, whoop-de-doo, there's proof. I'm not having a hard time following this story that doesn't make too much sense to me, if you understand what I'm saying. Some things just aren't connecting for me in this story. And maybe it will, maybe we should have some type of proof within the storytelling where some things will click. But I'm seeing a lot of red flags trying to follow what this woman is telling us. And I don't even understand why this would be anything to lie about.
She's under the blankets in the bed. All I see is her bonnet and her socks. So I'm like, you got a girl over here? And I was like, oh no, sir. She need to get up and she need to go. Okay. So I go back, I sit on the couch, and I'm just like a little flabbergasted because he ain't never done nothing like this before. He ain't never like snuck no girl into the house. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like how am I supposed to handle this situation? So I called my mom and I was like, you know, Mom, this boy got a girl in his bed. Like, what am I supposed to do? And so we was talking, and I reached out to a couple of my homegirls, and they was all like, you know, don't flip out. Just talk to him, talk to her, call her parents. You know, y'all need to have a conversation, especially if they having sex. So I'm like, all right. So part 3. Basically what happened was, I mean, after you know, I asked her to leave that final time, she pretty much was like on her way.
So she stayed after. I'm gonna see this. Okay, I don't like calling cap on this. I heard this story a little bit on TikTok, which made me decide to make a video on it. And I thought it'd be like a good video to like blow down on women that's actually like trying to Brittany Renner some more kids, like some more women that's trying to like, you know, lure little boys, because you know the whole conception between boys being with women that's older than them. Like at 13 or 14, they think most 13 and 14-year-old, 15-year-old boys think that if they get an older girl that's an adult, they're wrong. And like I understand the ideology behind it because I was once a kid too, and I had friends that thought this way. But as a full-blown adult, I think we all can acknowledge and understand that you got to be in a pretty messed up place to want to be with a kid. Like honestly, like to have the patience or even to like be sexually attracted to a kid is kind of asinine once you hit like over the age of 18, 19, shit, any of them ages. Wanting to be with someone that's like a freshman in high school is crazy. There's no compatibility there whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, emotionally. They're just way too different for one. And for two, like I said, just why? And that's why I walked into this video thinking I'd be able to get a point over. I think that we'd have a video that we may get entertained or may learn something from. But I'm not getting that from this video. You're telling me that a 19-year-old girl stayed in the bed with your son or stayed in the room with your son and didn't rush out the door once she found out she got caught. You had time to call your mom and homegirls, and you had to ask her multiple times to leave before she actually left. Any other P word, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying P-R-E-D, would have bounced like a damn ball after the first warning. Maybe this is just different because it's a girl with a boy and she probably isn't worried. In the beginning of the video, the girl didn't really sound like she cared about what she was talking about. But let's just see if there's some part in this that's going to make it make sense. I'm not really getting the story here.
Way out, She left before the police got here because I absolutely did call the police. They came, they asked a few questions, they got my information. They asked my son what her name was. He gave the name that he knows her by. I don't know this woman. I tried to pull my Ring camera to give them a picture of her leaving my house. For some reason, ironically, every video is on there and every video is saved except for the video of her leaving my house. So I don't know how to, they're going to have to do their due diligence to find.
See, I thought I was tripping that person. I didn't think that I'd be able to post this video because how crazy will I really seem trying to say that a story is fake when she's giving like maybe some valid points I'm just overlooking because again, I watched a lot of fake videos over the last 48 hours trying to find something to post, you know what I'm saying? We ain't just gonna spit out anything to y'all, but I think this is legitimately fake. So the one time, I have a Ring camera. I've set up my grandma's all 4 of her Ring cameras, and as soon as motion is felt, it starts recording. No matter what time, place, where, it starts recording. I don't think that the one time this 19-year-old girl leaves your house from doing stuff with your son, that it's not recording. I think that's weird. I don't believe in scenarios like that. That's just that odd, to be honest with you. That's 1. And 2, what do you mean the name that your son knows her by? Something seems fishy here and it's just off. It's just off. He didn't show her Instagram account or a Twitter account. How did she get into contact with your son? Just the name that he knows her by. This is fake. It's fake. Let's see if there's anything else.
This lady is. I did my part as a parent. I had a conversation with my son. I let him know that, we've had conversations. You get what I'm saying? We've had conversations surrounding this type of topic before, not dealing with a woman of her age. But we definitely sat down and had a conversation, and I definitely did my due diligence as a parent to make sure that she knew how I felt, that my son knew how I felt, and that the police are involved. If I can find the video of the police, I may post it, but I don't feel the need to have to prove anything to anybody. There's a lot of stuff being said in the comments.
If you can find the video of the police, you may post it. So you didn't post, and it feels like a story. And I don't really care enough once I feel like I have enough proof or enough things to assume that this is fake. I don't really care much more to listen to the last 12 seconds of this. It's pretty obvious that we're not going to get anything. All I'm going to say is this, that if you're faking this, you're sick. It's no point. You're just bored. It's another thing that people are trying to do for views because they don't got no talent. But if this is real, like I said before, I don't think you should be, I don't understand why people come to the internet with this. You didn't spread any awareness. You didn't tell parents to make sure you look through your kids' phones or have a conversation. You didn't spread any awareness. You're just telling a story without any proof. And it really feels like it's for views. And I know that seems to be like a staple on this channel of what people are doing nowadays and shit. Maybe even be a little hypocritical considering who I am and I'm doing this shit for views. But I genuinely love this. I love this. I love talking. This woman does not love y'all. She doesn't love who the people she's talking to. She's doing this shit for views. I refuse to believe that this is true. You can't sit up here and tell stories like this and expect us to just believe it, a single ounce of proof. And that does not mean that you should never believe a story time that anybody gives. But if it's going to be something that's this much of a reach, let's be honest here. I may even be being a little sexist by saying, what 19-year-old girl is really trying to get with a 13-year-old boy? And I know there's sick people out there like that, but hey, there's no way that there's nothing that you can do to trace back to that woman or to that woman who did that with your son. You're telling me there's no possible way, and the police have to do their due diligence to find out who she was without any proof. And the one time that you had her in your line of sight, you recorded the phone in your hand. And if you really love your son as much, and you know as an adult, as a woman, as an adult, what type of sick person you'd have to be to actually go out and do something sexual with someone that's a baby, basically, someone that's barely, she said about to be 14-year-old. That means that this kid isn't even in high school yet. This is a middle schooler. So you know how sick a woman has to be in bed with a middle schooler. I have a hard time believing that she'd be able to stay calm and be patient. I am having a difficult time. How do you even know the girl was 19 now that I think about it? How do you know? So I'm just leave the video on that. I feel like this is low-key sad that this is even something I have to say or assume. But I think that is more than enough proof to really assume that this isn't real. So with that being said, y'all gotta thank me as a detective. Y'all need to hit that like button, subscribe to the video, and tell me y'all take on it. Tell me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I will come back out and give it. No, I'm not gonna give you an apology. I'll probably just apologize in the comment section down below for looking like a damn fool. But trust me, I'm never wrong. Just like I say, if you hit that subscribe button right here, right. you'll become every single girl on this Planet's Fantasy. Or if you're a girl, you can become every single guy on this Planet's Fantasy. But I think that's all that I have for this video today, man. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I might make a thank you video. I might say that for 100,000 or 10K. All I know is that I'm out for now. Peace. In sync. This is take 2, man. Take 2, man. Not only we watched the full thing, that just means that we kind of watched a couple seconds. Shit, it doesn't matter. I'm every girl's fantasy. I could do whatever I want to do on this camera. 1,000 people just subscribe to me. I'm every girl. They know that they subscribe because they understand that I'm every single girl on this Planet's Fantasy. We just have to make sure y'all was in sync, man. We just have to make sure it was in sync. Let's get this story on the road, man.